Good evening and welcome to CenterPoint. I'm Lindsay Keith. Thanks for being with us on a Friday night. We begin tonight with the investigation into Hunter Biden and allegations of corruption involving the Biden family. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is demanding that the National Archives release all of its records of then Vice President Biden's official duties that overlapped with Hunter Biden's foreign dealings in Ukraine. And in a troubling development, the committee says it has evidence Joe Biden was using fake names in some of his emails. We're joined now by EGGERS, Vice President of the Government Accountability Institute. Eric, welcome back to the show. Good to see you this evening.
Hey, happy Friday, Lindsay.
Okay, so James Comer is out saying that he is calling these activities of the Biden family influence peddling, organized crime in Ukraine. The interesting thing is we have this evidence that Joe Biden was using these fake names like Robert L. Peters and J.R.B. Ware. Why was he using those in emails when he was vice president?
Right. That's an excellent question. And the only obvious conclusion to draw is to try to obfuscate or to hide whatever activities he was involved in. Thank goodness that we now know that you've got the office of the vice president sending emails that are CCing Hunter Biden to Joe Biden's fictitious name and official and private email addresses, in which he says, hey, by the way, you have a call with the president of Ukraine today. That's happened at the same time that Hunter Biden was being paid by a company in Ukraine. And, oh, by the way, that company had asked for a prosecutor to be fired, which, of course, Joe Biden helped facilitate. He brags about that. So that's one of the many troubling developments that we now know. And I think it's consistent with a larger pattern of the Bidens trying to hide their involvement of just how much money they were making and what role Joe Biden played at every turn.
So it seems like Congress and these three committees that are investigating the Bidens are starting to find more of the puzzle pieces. But so far, it doesn't seem like they've been able to put the puzzle together.
I guess I kind of disagree with that, Lindsay. I think that if you take a step back, let's just consider what the larger picture that each piece from these three committees actually portrays. What it portrays is that Joe Biden took official action that benefited Hunter Biden's employer. Then they took steps to hide Joe Biden's involvement because of the fictitious email addresses. And, oh, by the way, then at later turns, like Hunter Biden has taken trips with Joe Biden on Air Force Two to set up other businesses in other countries, including China. And then later, after Joe Biden leaves the office of vice president, they take more money in from countries like China, and they take steps to hide his involvement there with the University of Delaware and the University of Pennsylvania with the Biden centers. So I think that I'm not sure how much more of a clear picture you would want to say that Joe Biden worked in tandem with Hunter Biden to help put money in the Biden family coffers.
So you think that there is enough evidence to show influence peddling?
Well, we now have official testimony from Devon Archer, Hunter Biden's close friend and business associate, when he told the House Oversight Committee that what they were selling is access. They were selling what he said, the illusion of access. They were selling the brand. And we now know that the brand is, in fact, the Bidens. The more powerful Joe Biden became, the more money they made. It's actually very reminiscent of what the Clintons did. And, oh, by the way, Lindsay, remember this. Joe Biden was vice president when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. For 4 years, the Clintons made all kinds of money when Hillary was Secretary of State, and the Clinton Foundation took in tons of money. The money that the Clinton Foundation has taken has gone down depreciatively since Hillary Clinton left office. Joe Biden was vice president. Hunter Biden, I think, learned from the Clintons, and they essentially replicated the model. That's what I think we're seeing.
So it does seem like they're drawing this process out, though. Could they be doing that to mimic the presidential election cycle, much like Republicans are accusing Democrats of doing to former President Trump?
I guess they're doing what they can with what they can when they can. I think they're somewhat limited in terms of each new revelation demands scrutiny, it demands investigation. The reason why one reason why it's taking so long is it's not like the Bidens have just come forward and said, hey, here's all our email addresses. They have to subpoena things. They have to go through lawyers. Hunter Biden has hired some of the more expensive lawyers in the country to try to keep certain things off the table. And so I think that the House Oversight Committee is kind of hesitant to do things because they're afraid they'll be shut down. But I think the more they continue to look, the more that they, for example, can find access to Joe Biden's phone records, the more that we now know from these laptop emails that there's a litany of shell companies and bank accounts tied to these shell companies. It's a very complicated thing. So I think part of the reason why it's taking so long is because of all the steps the Bidens took to try to hide exactly what they're up to. That's why it's complicated.
All right, Eric Eggers, thanks for the report tonight. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.